Coming to you live from Orange County, episode 111 of Royally Quacked. Welcome, hockey fans. Hey, Cody.
Hello.
I got a busy day today.
You do. A lot of driving, too.
Yeah, yep. It's all good. It's all about family. So
I agree. Well, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do the Ducks game recaps first, and then we're gonna continue on with the regular Ducks news, Kings news,
league news,
and the rest of that. So, all right, we're gonna talk about game 1 of round 2, Ducks versus Knights. First time they've met in the playoffs against each other. And as every other playoff game starts with the Ducks, the other team scores first. But Lukas Stolstall played very well in this game. First 2 games, he played very well. And I'm going to leave it at that right now. But Brett Howden gets on the board for the Golden Knights in the second period off of a deflection. And it's 1-0 Golden Knights. And then we go into the third period, and Mikael Granlund gets on the board and ties it up 1-1, and off a nice snapshot from Jackson Lacombe, his 9th assist, and John Carlson's 6th assist, and that was Granlund's 3rd goal, and we're tied 1-1. And then this is where the controversy starts. The Golden Knights, about a little over a minute later, it was an icing call that wasn't called icing, but we're going to get more into that. And Ivan Barbashev scores and makes it 2-1. And I could tell you this, Ducks fans and Joel Quenneville were fuming. And I don't know, I should have had pictures to show you guys everything.
Hey, Cody.
What's up?
So I don't know if all you Royally Quack fans know that Cody is also doing Ducks Digest on Digest Media, and there's an episode about the icing that I thought you did a fantastic job that explains it. So I would highly recommend you all go like and subscribe on Ducks Digest for Cody, and a great job of explaining the whole icing thing. And I think actually the reason why you actually explained it, because why the call happened like it did is because of angles. So I'll let you go on there. So I just want to bring that up. There's you did a great job explaining it there. I mean,
so the episode my dad's talking about, so I've done 6 episodes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 episodes. So it'd be episode that the NHL are screwing the Ducks. You'll see Gary Bettman on and Joe Quenneville on the thumbnail, and saying, that I can't really say because it's blocking my. All right, let's see if I can pull it up here. This is absurd. That's what it says on the thumbnail. So please check it out. Maybe I'll put the link in the notes and everything for people to go check out. The link
in the notes. Like I said, you did a great job of explaining it and why it got called. And you can't really blame the official for it, because what he saw, Cody shows you in video exactly why he called what he did.
Yeah.
And not that it was right, but that just shows you angle means everything.
Yes.
And it does a lot in fishing.
Yes. Like I said, we both officiated. We both know angle. They always say angle over distance.
Yes.
And like I said, when I saw the pictures, I'm like, okay, I can see it more now. Like I said, I understood the call. Because Dave Jackson even said, like, it looked like Eichel had a step, but it was the angle of where the linesman was that it's supposed to make that call. It did look like Eichel, had a step, but if you change the angle, he did not have a step on Lacombe. But at the same time, Lacombe stopped skating, but so did Eichel. But Lacombe, if you just keep skating, it's they're gonna call icing. Instead, he tried to slow down and then try to get in front of Eichel. It wasn't the right play for Lacombe. I will say, I'm not saying Lacombe had a bad game, but it was not. It was probably his worst of the playoffs so far.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say on that. And then, so it's 2-1 Vegas, and then the Ducks pull their goalie, and then Mitch Marner gets his third goal of the postseason on the empty netter, and that's your game. 3-1 Vegas. They take game one in Vegas. Shots on goal. The Ducks, like I said, they completely outplayed Vegas in this one. Even John Tortorella said the Ducks were the better team. Only reason why they survived is a man named Carter Hart, and he's going to be mentioned a lot in this episode. But did outshoot them 34-22. Face-offs. Ducks barely lost the face-offs, 50.9 to 49.1. Power play, and we're going to talk about that. The Ducks were 0 for 4 on the power play, but they were also 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, which is good. Hits, 37 hits for the Ducks, 10 block shots, 17 giveaways, and 2 takeaways. And then your 3 stars of the game are Brett Howden with the 1 goal, Ivan Barbashev with technically the game-winning goal, and then Carter Hart with the 1 goal allowed and a .971 save percentage. All around, like I said, Carter Hart's looking like a Conn Smythe goalie right now. I'm gonna be completely honest. He is. So that's game one, and now we're gonna go to game number 2. Game number 2 really scared me in the beginning. And you're wondering why, Cody? They had 6 minutes and 18 seconds of consecutive power play time. That's because in that 6 minutes and 18 seconds of power play time, they didn't get a single goal, including an almost over 95-second 5-on-3. And the first power play they had just before that, they had 5 shots on goal, but didn't score. And then there was 6 seconds left, and then they took a delay of game penalty. The Knights did, and so the Ducks went on the power play again. And then just 20 seconds later, Jack Eichel got called for high sticking. It was a double minor. So the Ducks had a lot of time on the power play and got 0 shots on the power play after that. They had 0 shots on the 5-on-3 for 95 seconds. And they still had another 2.5 minutes on the power play after that and still 0 shots. Roscoe David on Instagram says Ducks will bounce back tomorrow night. And I 100% agree with that. After the way they played last night, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And this is the second time in this postseason that the Ducks have done this. They scored first. Beckett Seneca gets his second goal of the postseason from Viel and Paling on a nice little wrist shot. They just left Beckett wide open in front of the net. Viel found him, and Beckett put it in the back of the net. And then we go into the third period, and Leo Carlson gets on the board, his 4th of the postseason. Troy Terry with a 6th assist, and Chris Kreider's 5th assist. And it's 2-0 Anaheim. This play was kind of wonky, I would say, because Chris Kreider was in the offensive zone. He tried to backhand it pass to Carlson, but it was behind Carlson, and then it was just a straight 50-50 puck in the O zone. And Troy Terry just happened to get to it first, and Carlson did the smart thing is he went the other side of the zone, right in front of the net, and he was wide open. Terry backhanded the pass right over to him, and Leo got elevated and put it in the back of the net, and that really helped. And so it's 2-0 Anaheim, and then Jansen Harkins gets the empty netter. He's back. Ross Johnson and Jansen Harkins is back. Never thought I'd say I'm happy to see them back, but they are back, and I think they are right for this series against Vegas. So it's 3-0 Anaheim at the 16:30 mark, and then everything's looking great. And there's about 10-15 seconds left, and then Ross Johnson takes the penalty, and I'm like, okay, just wait some time. It's 3-0, we're good. And then just Jack Eichel throws it on net, and Mark Stone tips it, and it goes in. So it's a power play goal for Vegas. And with less than 6 seconds left, the shutout is gone. And the Ducks haven't had a shutout, I believe they said, since the opening. I want to say it was like one of the first 2 or 3 games of the season before. The Mighty Ducks Club. What up, Mikey? Says we should have known round 2 won't be easy. 2 good teams going at it. You're 100%. This series is going to be a lot different than Edmonton because Vegas actually can play defense.
Well, the funny thing, Cody, is in game 2, Vegas looked old. They looked old and slow. And I mean, I'm going like, wow. I mean, I thought Vegas, with their veteran presence that they've seemed to always have, would really make the Ducks work. But the Ducks have really been making Vegas work, and they looked old in game 2. And I go, man, if they don't pick it up, this could be a quick series. So, I mean, that game 2 was a very much of a domination by the Ducks. I mean, whether you're a Ducks fan or not, wow, I got to tell you, I was impressed with that game.
Yeah, the Ducks straight up dominated game 2. Like I said, everyone, like Joel Stahl was great. It just sucked that I was so lucky. Like I said, I didn't say the S word. You don't say that. And of course, with just under 6 seconds left, the shutout's gone. I was so like, man, like I was more mad about that than probably the icing call. I was like, come on, like Joel Stahl deserves at least one shout out because that probably could have really helped like his ego and everything.
You would think, right? Yeah.
So now we're gonna move on to the stats in this game. Like I said, Ducks dominated 28 shots on goal to 22 for Vegas. The only thing we did not dominate is the faceoffs. 63.2 for Vegas, 36.8 for the Ducks. And the Ducks, again, 0 for 5 on the power play. We're going to talk about that again later. And Vegas, like I said, they scored that last second power play goal, and they were 1 for 4. Both teams had 39 hits. Ducks had 14 block shots, 15 giveaways, and 2 takeaways, and the series is tied 1 apiece. Your 3 stars are Mark Stone with the 1 goal. Somehow he made it just because he scored. Lukas Stahl with the 1 goal against and a .955 save percentage is your number 2 star. And then Leo Carlson is your number 1 star because he was all over the ice in that game.
He was
all over. So that's game 2. And then we head back to Anaheim, where the Ducks have been undefeated this postseason at home. And we found out real quick it wasn't going to last long because for the 13th time this year, Lukas Stahl's given up the first shot as a goal. And that's what happened in this game because at the 106 mark, Shea Theodore, former Duck, who the broadcasters thought he was William Carlson for some reason. They said it was like I want to say like after he scored, they went to commercial and we're like, oh yeah, Shea Theodore, who was drafted by the Ducks in 2013 and then traded to Columbus and then picked up in the expansion draft for Vegas. And I was like, no, that's not what happened. And I was just like scratching my head, like, did they really just confuse Shea Theodore with William Carlson? That was William Carlson was drafted in 2013 by the Ducks, traded to Columbus, and then he was picked up in the expansion draft. No, Shea Theodore was drafted. I don't remember exactly what year he was drafted. I want to say it was 2016. 2015, 2016. It was one of those two. Because Shea Theodore played with the Ducks when they had those. I want to say it was the last time they made that the playoff run before they got swept by the Sharks. I want to say it was when the comeback on. He was part of the comeback on Contella. It was when they lost to Nashville. That's what it was, in the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, you talk about 2 players that the Ducks should have never let go.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, the William Carlson one, I think he didn't really become his own until he was in Like he started, you could tell like he was starting to become something in Columbus. He wasn't anything in Anaheim, from what I remember.
Yeah,
I
but
could, like I said, I
look,
could be wrong, but then like he just became like a star in Vegas. Shea Theodore, and I still think this is one of the worst trades ever in Ducks history.
agreed.
Like, I'm sorry, Bob Murray, that was the stupidest trade ever. I would have happily given up some Sammy Vatanen or Cam Fowler and kept Theodore. No, actually, no, Fowler was protected. It was Vatanen and somebody else. I can't remember.
And
But
he decided to keep Vatanen by trading Theodore to Vegas.
yeah. So and
So
Vegas
they
is
didn't,
like,
and then they trade him to New Jersey.
yeah, for
Wasn't it New
Henrique.
Jersey? Yeah.
Yeah, for Henrique.
I mean, that wasn't. I mean, Henrique was a good player.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
So let's get back to game 3. So, like I said, in normal fashion, the Ducks give up the first goal again. And at the 12-13 mark, the Ducks are on the power play, and then they give up a short-handed goal to Braden McNabb, former King.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a former Duck and a former King still hurting Ducks.
I thought the King should have kept McNabb too. So
Well, he was in the he was their expansion pick, right?
he was.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's played ever since.
Yeah. All right, and then and that's not the last goal in the first period because Mitch Marner on the power play gets a goal, his 4th of the postseason. Now is at the 1955 mark, so it's 3-0 Vegas after 1. Dostal is done. He gave up 3 goals on 8 shots. So they put Ville Husso in to start the second. And at the 9:19 mark, who gets on the board again? Mitch Marner, the guy that they say cannot play in the playoffs. And he makes it 4-0 Vegas on a backhanded shot. That was just honestly just a great all-around play from Vegas. And then the real dagger at the 17:56 mark to make it 5-0. Mitch Marner again gets the what they call it? The all natural hat trick because he got 3 straight goals.
Yeah, wasn't all of them in the second period?
No, he got the last
Got
one
one
first.
Okay.
And then the 2 and the
But he scored 3 straight goals.
3 straight goals was on a natural hat trick. So it makes 5-0 Anaheim. At this point, Mom texted me and she was like, what the hell happened? I went to go pick up a wheelchair for Papa at a friend's house and it's 5-0. And my comment was, if I had to describe our goalies tonight by cheese, they would be Swiss cheese. And my mom said, I'm assuming Husso is in. And I said, he's Swiss cheese too.
I'd say that more like shredded cheese.
Shredded cheese.
Think about it.
And then
that's not going to stop anything.
Yeah. Chris in the Instagram chat says Ducks in 6. I agree with you. I really hope that. And we'll see for my predictions later. But the Ducks finally get on the board with Mr. Beckett Seneca. We'll talk about him a little bit in the notes and the news for the Ducks. He gets his 3rd goal of the postseason. Alex Killorn gets his 4th assist and Granlund's 5th assist, and it's 5-1 Vegas. And then Chris Kreider gets on the board at the 15:09 mark on a snapshot, his 2nd of the postseason. Troy Terry's 7th assist and Leo Carlson's 6th assist. But then the Ducks pull their goalie, and then Brett Howden puts in another one. So it ends up being 6-2 Vegas in game 3. The Ducks lose their first home game of the postseason. And now the Ducks are down 2-1 in the series. Cutter Gautier fan 61 says Cutter needs to score next game. I agree. He hasn't scored once in this series. He needs to get going as well. But we're gonna talk about that later. And if not, I will break it down on Ducks Digest because it is a daily podcast. So I'm gonna try and do Monday through Friday as much as I can. I'm gonna probably do some weekend ones, but subscribe to that one and you'll get notified on that. So, but now we're gonna go into the stats, the Ducks still outshot Vegas 33-28. Again, the faceoffs, 56.9 for Vegas, 43.1 for the Ducks. Ducks were 0 for 2 on the power play, so a total of 0 for 11 in 3 games after going 8 for 16 against Edmonton. And I was like, I knew the Ducks weren't going to continue this 50% power play percentage. I knew they weren't. But we got to score on the power play. We have to. Vegas was 1 for 3 on their power play. The Ducks had 53 hits, 6 block shots, 8 giveaways, and 4 takeaways. But you want to know the big difference in this game? 20 block shots for Vegas. Ducks only had 6. That's
Wow.
a big difference. The Ducks need to start blocking more shots and start getting pucks, their shots through. Because I said Vegas, I already knew this going in. Vegas is much better defensively than Edmonton was. Much better. But they have to step it up. So now the Ducks are down 2-1. Game 4 is tomorrow on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, by the way.
Yes.
The game time is at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then game 5 will also be on May 12th. I believe that's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And it'll be back in Vegas. That's also a 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Adam says, yeah, we went from an 80% power play in one series now down to 20. Yeah, no, we were at 50% before. I think now we're at 20 or less.
For the series or for the overall?
I think he's talking about overall. So we were 8 for 16. Now we're 8 for 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 0 for 11.
0 for 11 in this series.
Wow. You went to 0 from one series 50% to the next one 0.
Mm-hmm.
That's you know the difference between game 2 and game 3 is the Vegas veteran superstars showed up in game 3. Eichel played a great game, so did Marner. The one thing I think the Ducks are lacking is that veteran superstar. I mean, you obviously have 2 or 3, hit 4 possible superstars that are really young yet that obviously are going to mature. I think Carlson's going to be up at the top of the scoring list here in the next few years, if not next year.
Yeah.
And make another big step. And then you got Cutter, you got Beckett, and then you have Lacombe. But Vegas has more veteran stars right now. And the difference, I think, at least in game 3, was the veteran stars outplayed the young stars. And I know Quenneville's smart enough to figure that out and do something to help them come back tomorrow. And I mean, we can't let Vegas win. I mean,
no.
I know Kings fans, our arch rivals, are playing against Vegas, but I don't know about you guys, but Edmonton and Vegas are the severe enemies. You know, I'm sure the Ducks, with the talent they have, are going to become the number one enemy eventually. But sorry, I'm at my in-laws' house and the phone rings. I turned the ringer off, but yet it still rings.
It's all right.
So sorry if we get some rings in there.
Yeah.
I don't have too many places here to be able to do a podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways,
well, before you finish, Globus Northwood says Ducks in 7 on Instagram.
Well, you knocked off one hated rivalry. You need to knock off another one. In my book, I hope the Ducks do it. I hope they do it. Well, they can do it in 6. That's going to minimum.
Yeah.
They have to win the next 3. That's not an easy task. And I think he might be right. It might go 7.
Yeah.
I don't see Vegas, laying down. They looked
No.
awful in game 2. That's the worst I think I've seen Vegas play.
And I mean, they didn't look that much better in game 1 either. The Ducks were definitely the better team. It was just harder heart.
Yeah, the Ducks have dominated possession. Yeah, for sure.
Cutter Cody fan 61 says Ducks need to have a meeting before game 4 and try to figure out how to slow down Marner because he was on a heater in game 3.
No doubt about it. I mean, obviously getting him, because he had a quiet 80 points, I thought, because he had over 100 points in Toronto last year. And I thought maybe, I wasn't hearing much about him. Yet, I mean, 80 points is almost a point a game. That's a really good player. We all want some point a game players. And obviously he took serious people talking about not being a playoff guy because he definitely showed up in game 3. So we'll see what happens.
Well, let's go to Kings news. We'll change it up for a little bit.
Okay. Well, we've been talking a lot about the Ducks.
Yep.
As far as the Kings, obviously, we know we're already out of the playoffs. But John Rosen reports that the LA Kings coaching interviews are starting later this week, adding that Bruce Cassidy is on their list, but they don't know for sure if he has an interest in LA or is committed to a meeting with them yet. I would hope so because he's a great coach. But who knows? Maybe they're going to come up with some guy you never heard of who becomes the next great coach. That does happen every so often, So I don't know. I would put my hat with Cassidy myself just because of what I know about him. You definitely want someone in that is willing to do some retooling because I think it's going to be a few years unless we make some huge splashes in free agency. I don't think trading is going to get us back to being a Stanley Cup champion again. It's going to take 2 or 3 more years minimum for that to happen. On other news, Kevin Fiala was progressing so well in rehab that they thought if they made it to the second round, he might be able to join sometime during the second round. So he's doing really well with his rehab. Definitely ahead of schedule. I think he would have made a difference at least getting a victory, 1 or 2 maybe victories against Colorado, having him another scoring opportunity. I don't think we would have taken Colorado even with Fiala because you talk about they're the best team in hockey. Also, this has been reported on hockeybuzz.com. I was kind of surprised. Connor McDavid could be headed to LA. It's actually on the hockeybuzz.com. You can check out the whole story there. I mean, there is other possibilities because obviously him and Draisaitl, after getting lambasted by the Ducks, were not very happy with that result, and he's got 1 more year there and he might be stuck there unless
he has 2 years left.
Does he have 2 at 12.5? I thought it was
two. So he was able to sign an extension this year. Remember?
Oh, well.
So his contract would have ended after this season, but then he signed that 2-year deal during the season. Yeah. So now he has 2 more years at $2.5 million. The bargain of a century.
I do not see that trade happening then.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Cutter Godia fan 61 says with Anze retired, do you think Drew Doughty will be the next captain?
Well, he's got 1 year left. I think they probably would do that just because of his tenure, the 2 Stanley Cups he brought with the team. I don't know if he would stay there. I'm not sure if they'll do it at all, but I would just because out of respect of the career he's had with the Kings. And then you could have Kempe and, Byfield or someone be the assistant captains. Unless they make a trade and bring in a number 1 center. So But
Someone like an
moving,
Austin Matthews.
there's a whole lot of rumors
Okay,
going on.
real quick. Byfield, Clark, and your 2026 first round and 2027 first round pick for Matthews. Do you do it?
No, it's too much. It gives Matthews nobody to go with.
Panarin?
I mean, you got Fiala and
Kempe?
Kempe. That's it, though. You don't have a
Panarin?
second line. Oh, Panarin, I forgot about it. But you don't have a second line, third line.
You don't even have a first line.
Well, the Kings are, and there's more than just the Kings. A lot of people believe Byfield has just been a little bit slower. A lot of it's been because he's been injured or COVID. He had a lot of years where he didn't get like the full season in. Then they're thinking that once Kopi, the number 1C forever, is gone, that he might be able to take that mantle.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen? I don't know. Would I like to see it happen? Absolutely. He's a great kid, and he plays excellent defense. He shut down McDavid completely in the last game they played the Oilers and beat the Oilers 1-0. How many teams shut out the Oilers?
Yeah.
So there is hope there. But moving on, even at the trade deadline, there was a whole list of names that came out. And I'm just going to go over a few of them. And I'd really like to hear what you guys think. I mean, these are the list of rumored trade targets during the trade deadline this year. Elias Patterson from Vancouver. Robert Thomas.
It's supposed to be Pettersson.
Oh, it is Pettersson. Obviously, that got corrected by autocorrect when I typed that up. Didn't catch it. Thank you, Cody. Robert Thomas from St. Louis. Vincent Trocheck from the Rangers. And even Stamkos from Nashville. Now, could I see somebody, maybe you might even get an older Stamkos for maybe a minor player and a draft pick that can come in and score goals for you, because we definitely need somebody to score goals. So, anyways, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think the Kings need to do in this next season to become at least somewhat competitive? I mean, are we going to stand still and just bring people up? Do you think a trade needs to be made, or do you really think, here's the big one, LA finally jumps into the free agent market and picks up, one of the top 2 or 3 free agent?
It's not a pretty free agent class.
I know, but even somebody who can score goals.
Alex Tuck.
There's a lot of guys that can score goals.
Yeah.
You don't need a 50-goal scorer. Somebody who scores 20 or 30.
Yeah.
What was the guy from that? Did Buffalo pick him up? McCann? He had like 30 goals.
That was Seattle. Are you talking about Bobby McMahon?
Yeah, he scored like 30 goals this year. How many Kings scored 30 goals?
Adam has some advice for the Kings. Quit. Just quick. That's the best move for them.
Yeah, wow.
All right. Out of those four, who do you want the most?
Out of those 4?
Yes. Because, all right, before you answer, Elias Pettersson, you may be able to get at the best deal out of all of them, but you don't know what you're getting. Robert Thomas is probably be the most expensive one, but probably the best one. Vincent Trocheck is great, but he's not an offensive threat. He's more of a two-way guy. He'll cost you a lot, just not as much as Thomas. Stamkos is older, expensive, but he will score goals if you get him the puck. And I think he'll probably be like the 3rd most expensive on that list.
I think Pettersson he just needs a new start somewhere.
Yeah.
He's scored 100 points in Vancouver. But Vancouver has had nothing but toxicity over the last few years. Obviously, they traded players away.
Yeah.
And they were awful. and they didn't even get the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You
We'll
know,
talk about
so
that. Well, Cutter Godier fan 61 says, I think a big trade needs to happen. They'll probably look and see who's available.
yeah. Well, I would say Pedersen would be the guy. I think he would be the cheapest, and he probably has the biggest upside from where he's at right now.
But he
So they
also
might
has the
get-
highest cap hit out of all of them.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes you got to take a chance. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. A trade isn't going to get us very far because we have to give up something for it.
Yeah.
So, but that's Kings news. Please let me know, fans, what you think, who we should do, what should we do, how should we do it? I mean, I think a retool is what we're gonna do. It's not gonna be a blow up and start over.
Nope.
I mean, they got some young talent, so, and they got some goalkeepers coming up that could be Vezina Trophy winners, 2 of them. So
I'm sorry, but they need to trade at least one.
they probably will. I don't know who they're going to go with. They'll probably trade one and get a guy who can score goals eventually.
Yeah.
But I still think they're at least a year or 2 away from being up with a big top team yet.
All right. Carter George for Connor McDavid straight up.
Yeah. Who?
All right.
You'd make that trade.
No, because I don't want to see McDavid on the Kings.
I'm just saying. If you
I
could
was
trade,
I would do it in a heartbeat. Yes.
yes, thank you.
All right. Ducks news.
Let's do it.
All right. So some good news. Beckett Seneca is a finalist for the Calder Trophy. I think we all saw this one coming. I'd say if his season would have continued, if he didn't have that little downfall, that little last 3 weeks, I think he had a real shot at winning. Like maybe, but now I think it's for sure going to be somebody else. But we'll talk about that in the league news. And then some facts for the playoffs. Beckett Seneca becomes the 4th Duck skater to score multiple goals in a postseason at age 20 or younger. Following Stanislav Chistov, he had 2003. Emerson Edom had 3 in 2013, and Ryan Getzlaf had 2 in 2006. And then a former Duck who's on the one of the broadcasts for the playoffs, which I think when he retires, he's going to be perfect for this job. Ryan Strome breaks down how former teammate Leo Carlsson has elevated his game. He says his confidence in his shot is what's really improved. And you can totally tell that from this season. And then here's Luke Ostall about missing out on the shootout in game 2. Sorry, shutout in game 2.
Oh.
He says, it doesn't matter. I always say it doesn't matter how you win, what the score is. Obviously, it's always the cherry on top, but it doesn't really matter. We got a W. That's what we focus on. That's a good way of putting it. It's very positive thinking right there from our goalie right there. And then Leo Carlsson became the 3rd Ducks player aged 21 or younger to record multiple game-winning goals in a postseason, joining Nick Ritchie, who had 2 in 2017, and Ryan Getzlaf in 2007. He also had 2. So Leo's in some good company there with our former longtime captain Getzlaf, and then Nick Ritchie. And then here's what former 3-time Stanley Cup champion from 2 of the Ducks rivals, the Kings and the Knights, Alec Martinez says about Leo Carlsson. He says, I've watched Leo Carlsson a lot. Man, does that guy remind me of Anze Kopitar.
Wow.
I could see like Leo has more offensive ability than Kopitar, but Kopitar was better defensively than Carlsson.
I would
But I could see it.
I definitely see Carlsson has a much bigger offensive upside than Anze did.
Yeah.
I don't see him being as good defensively as Kopitar, though. Probably
I agree.
never gonna probably happen. Although I think he's a well-rounded player,
Yeah,
and I got to tell you, I see superstar there.
I agree. And here's Troy Terry about the Ducks, so far this postseason. He says the whole experience is just kind of bringing us all together. What you are seeing, you can feel in our room. So like they're all clicking together, they're all getting along. The chemistry is there, and sometimes you can really see that on the ice. Of course, I didn't see that last night as much, but last bit of Ducks news. Leo Carlson should have gone number 1 overall. The top 3 of that class are all fantastic, and that was from former NHLer Jason Demers. And then Cutter Godia fan 61 says, if you were coach of the Anaheim Ducks, who would you want to start in net for Game 4, Husso or Dostal? I'm going back to Dostal.
Oh yeah,
no
doubt.
I think. If we think about what happened last time, he got pulled early. He played very well.
The next game, yes.
Because so I believe, if I'm remembering this right, he got pulled in Game 5 against Edmonton, and then they put him back in net for Game 6, and he gave up only two goals, and was very good in those 2 goals. And then he ended up having another 2 good games after that. So I'm going back to Dostal. All right, ready for league news?
I am.
All right, you start.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have officially named John, is it Chayka? Chayka, the team's GM, and Matt Sundin has been hired with the title of Senior Executive Advisor of Hockey Operations. So Toronto's definitely trying to get into a new direction.
Yeah, a lot of controversy there too.
And they're trying to appease their superstar.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember years ago that the Coyotes had that like scouting scandal and they end up losing like a first round and a second round draft pick? It was like in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
That was John Chayka. He was the GM of Arizona at that time. That was him. And let's just say this is very controversial signing and move. So we'll see how that goes. But literally the very next day, they struck gold. Because in the 2026 NHL draft, we found out what the order was, and the Maple Leafs jumped from pick number 5 to pick number 1. So the Maple Leafs will be on the clock first at the NHL draft, and they have the number 1 pick. So they can pick between Gavin McKenna, Ivar Stenberg, Keaton Verhoff. I know there's another player I can't think of the top of my head, but that wasn't the only big jump we had in the draft order. The San Jose Sharks went from number 9 to number 2. Yeah. So now the Sharks can get another top talent, but I've also heard that they may be looking to trade that number 2 overall pick. If I were them, I'd be talking to, Flames, maybe Kraken, and maybe like, hey, send us a defenseman and another pick and a player, and you can get the number 2 pick.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
The Sharks need defense. I hope
you were talking about the GM. The Ducks hiring Quenneville was quite controversial to start with because of the whole thing with Chicago.
Well, I think what built it up more was because it's Toronto.
True, but still, look what Quenneville's done for the Ducks. So maybe this guy will be magic for Toronto. Who knows?
Well, also when John Chayka was the GM of the Coyotes, he was 26 years old. now he's, 10 years later, he's what, 36, 37, married, has kids, a lot different now.
True.
So, but here's
We
the
will
rest of the draft
We will
order.
see.
Yep. So the draft order will go Maple Leafs 1, Sharks 2, Canucks drop from number 1 to number 3. Blackhawks get the 4th pick, Rangers 5, Flames 6, Kraken 7, Jets 8, Panthers 9, Predators 10, Blues 11, Devils 12, Islanders 13, Blue Jackets 14. Blues get the 15th pick. That's from Detroit. And then the Capitals would get the last pick right there at number 16 until the playoffs are officially over.
All right. Now our Masterson Memorial Trophy finalist, Rasmus Dahlin from the Sabres, Gabe Landeskog from Avalanche, and Jonathan Toews from the Jets. Who do you pick, Cody?
Rasmus Dahlin.
He's had a good year.
Well, after his wife had the heart complications, and
Yeah,
and I think they lost their child when she was still pregnant too. So I'm going with Rasmus Dahlin on this one.
yeah, good. Give him some good vibes.
Yeah. Calder Trophy finalist. We have Ivan Demidov from the Canadiens, Matthew Schaefer from the Islanders, and then, like we already said before, Beckett Seneca from the Ducks. Who's winning?
Oh, probably Schaefer.
Yeah, I agree. I hate to say it, but yes, you're right.
I mean, he's a teen. I mean, a young teen still.
Yeah,
he played well. I was shocked how well.
Like I said, I'm fully on board with Schaefer winning. If I had to put money on it, I'm going Schaefer.
I think he's probably gonna win it. Yeah. Although Beckett has been a nice run at it, though, I thought.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm Selke, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So the Selke Trophy finalists, as voted by the PHWA, Nick Suzuki from the Canadiens, Brock Nelson from the Avalanche, and Anthony Cirelli from the Lightning. We're actually going to get a new Selke winner this year because it's been the guy from Florida, right? Like
Barkov.
Last 2 or 3 years. Of course, he'll be back next year.
Yep, and I think this is an easy winner too. It's going to be Suzuki.
Yeah, Canadians are tough.
Yeah. All right. Who's your pick for the Selke?
I would probably say Suzuki also.
Yeah. I mean, these first 3 are kind of easy. Next up, we have the Norris finalists. We have Rasmus Dahlin from Buffalo, Cale Makar from Colorado, and Zach Werenski from Columbus. I think this is another easy one, but I honestly, and there was one player I would have taken off and put another one in.
Okay, who's that?
I would have taken Cale Makar out and put in Moritz Seider.
Okay.
That's the only difference I would have done. Or if not, then Quinn Hughes. But I think if Quinn Hughes was on the Wild to start the year, I think he would have been easily a finalist and probably number 2. But the easy winner is going to be Zach Werenski.
He's had 2 great seasons in a row.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was on my fantasy team.
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
And then we have the Hart Trophy finalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's you?
I just read the Norris one.
Okay. Nikita Kucherov from Tampa Bay, Nathan McKinnon from Colorado, and Connor McDavid from Edmonton. No Celebrini, huh?
No Celebrini. So who would you have taken out to put Celebrini in?
I don't know. That's tough. They're all great players.
I would have taken out. I hate to say, I would have taken out McDavid. I mean, because
he led the league in scoring once again.
Yeah,
McKinnon had the most goals.
That's not what the Hart Trophy is. It's who's most valuable to their team. And
Yeah.
like I said, I would have taken either Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid at one of those two. But like I said, I understand why they are in. They were definitely the best two in the league. Nikita Kucherov, I understand why he's in there. He was by far the best player on his team, and they probably wouldn't been where they're at without him. But I mean, for Macklin Celebrini to have what 47% of being involved with 47% of the goals
Yeah.
for the Sharks, and the main reason why they're there, he as a teenager, he broke a Sharks most points in a season record by Joe Thornton. I mean, come on, and we saw what he did in the Olympics too. It's not like he just did that with the Sharks. He was one of the best forwards in the Olympics. I'm shocked that Celebrity. I wasn't predicting Celebrity to win, but he should at least been a finalist. And honestly, I wanted him to win.
Yeah, I could see that. I think Kucherov might win it though.
I could see Kucherov winning it, but it's probably gonna be McKinnon just because it was Colorado and they were the President's Trophy.
Well, he led the league in goals.
Yeah, that too.
You know, and they definitely picked it up from what they did last year.
Yeah.
You know, as far as they were just incredible.
Yeah.
And thinking that they lost Rantanen.
It is funny. I think that trade worked out for all three teams with the whole Rantanen thing.
Yeah, actually, I think Colorado's chemistry is better without him.
Yeah.
I mean, the chemistry, it's what wins cups.
Yeah.
So.
All right. The NHL officially informs teams of the 2026-2027 salary cap and payroll range. The floor is at 76.9 million. The midpoint is at 90.4 million. The highest you can go in the cap is 104 million. So that's up from, I think it's 8.5 more million this year than this season. And the maximum salary for a player to make is a season is 20.8 million.
That means the teams can spend more money, hopefully get better.
What is the cap hit? What is it at?
I think it was 95.5, right?
I thought it was 97 something.
I thought it was 95.5, but
I guess I could.
That's a guess. I don't know. But I'll just move on. The PWHL has announced that Detroit will host an expansion franchise, the league's ninth team, beginning in the 26-27 season. The team will play at Little Caesars Arena, home of the Red Wings and the Pistons. That league is definitely just taking leaps and bounds. It's some fun hockey to watch. The girls play a great game. I try to watch hockey whenever I can, and it's fun to see the girls playing hockey.
And there's supposed to be more on the way. They're talking. I also heard that San Jose could be another location. There's supposed to be like three new teams, including Detroit. So it'll be Detroit and then three more teams.
Yeah, they got to get one in LA, right? Eventually, or Anaheim, or Orange County somewhere.
Yeah, because I mean they do have teams in Vancouver and Seattle, so they're going to need more West Coast teams. I didn't see this before, but Cutter Godier fan says I'm shocked that Macklin did not get picked for the Hart. And also on the Instagram chat, Colin Vandermotten, hope I said that right. Any thoughts about the Sharks getting the second pick? I think they're trading it, to be honest. I could see them getting someone back and then maybe moving back in the draft, or just using it to get a star player. So
I could see a team wanting, depending on who Toronto takes.
all right, so
If it's the right player, there might be a trade already set up where, the team wants the guy from Sweden, or if it's McKenna.
would you do for either team? I think the Sharks have two picks in the first round. if you were the Sharks or the Maple Leafs, would you do Austin Matthews for the number 2 overall pick, and then whatever pick the other first round pick is, and William Eklund? So San Jose will get Austin Matthews, and Toronto will get the number 2 overall pick. So they have back-to-back picks in this draft, and then another pick later on in the first round, and William Eklund. Would you do that?
Well, I don't think Matthews isn't going to be ready by the season start. I don't think.
Yeah.
If he's that unhappy, that would be a nice haul.
Yeah.
I would consider
and
that.
that would be I thought it'd be because Maple Leafs can get McKenna, and then they're, hey, we don't need to take the next best guy. We can take the best defenseman and stuff like that. So they can go 1-2 and really solidify what they need to do in Toronto.
Yeah, I think that could be a great move for them.
Yeah.
It would probably make them better, maybe not first year, but in a year or two.
Yeah.
Especially if those guys, the first two picks pan out, they could really turn around where they're at, because they have a lot of talent on that team and they just don't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they need better defensemen, that's for sure.
Yeah. So Colin on Instagram, it seems like he's a Sharks fan, because he was on the asked about the second overall pick for the Sharks. He said that would be smart. We need a defenseman, not another star forward. He was saying, like, trade the second round pick, move back, but get a defenseman in that trade while also moving back. And then he also said we just need a defenseman, but obviously we would always take Matthews. So and then next up on the league news, the Penguins have signed forward Connor Dewar at 2 years at $2.25 million AAV, and defenseman Ilya Solovyov. I don't know how to say that.
Solovyov.
His is 1 year at $850K to contract extensions.
So now I take it you must have the list for the U.S. Men's World Championship.
I do. So your forwards are Matt Coronado, Paul Cotter, James Higgins, Isaac Howard, Sam Lafferty, Riker Lee, Ryan Leonard, Oliver Moore, Danny Nelson, Tommy Novak, Matthew Olivier, Max Plant, Max Sasson, and Matthew Kachuk. And then your defense will be Will Borgen, Declan Carlisle, Connor Clifton, Justin Falk, Wyatt Kaiser, Ryan Lindgren, Mason Lohrei, and Ryan Ufko. And your goalies are Drew Camesso, Devin Cooley, and Justin Wolf. Oh, Joseph Wool from Toronto. Sorry.
Interesting.
Adam says, I don't know. I'll go to quit offense has gotten the Ducks right where we are.
What? All go, no quit offense has gotten the Ducks right where they are.
Because it's the way they play. I get it now. Okay. And then Cutter Goodie fan says, what are your thoughts on Ross Johnson and Jansen Harkins coming back into the lineup? I like Ross Johnson being back and Harkins. I just don't agree with Mason McTavish being scratched for 2 straight games. Something needs to switch on that. And then next up, I'm not going to tell you all the injuries for the Dallas Stars, but there were some that were crazy. Mikko Rantanen, who had an MCL tear at the Olympics, never really got going again. Would have been nice to have 2 or so more weeks of rehab, and had to wear a brace. No surgery needed. He'll have time to heal. There's just a lot. Oscar back, wrist injury in October, sprained shoulder in playoffs, no surgery. Nathan Bastian broke his finger, had surgery, would have been available second round. Jamie Benn in training camp had a collapsed lung and concussion. Liam Bichelle fractured his leg in his ankle area, sprained shoulder in Game 6. Michael Bunting had a groin injury. Matt Duchene, concussion early in the season. Long time to recover. Radek Vaska, concussion at Olympics. Suffered a foot laceration, messing with his foot function. Had surgery, may require further surgery. Ligament cut, stepped on a skate, seeing a specialist. Thomas Harley, broken foot in November. Mio Hiskinen, oblique tear versus Wild in April, sprained his ankle in playoffs. Rupe Hintz was sick during playoffs. First game back, double tear in his hamstring. Atu Harai, a high ankle sprain in Game 5. Niels Lundqvist, fractured to leg and ankle. Facial laceration in playoffs. Tyler Seguin had a torn ACL in January. Sam Steele, groin injury. And Tyler Myers, groin injury. And Ilya Labushkin had a shoulder injury.
Wow.
Let's see. Cutter Cody fan says, would you switch Olin Zellweger to get back? Yeah, yes, I would. I say get rid of the Hines Hellison pair, and I want a Zellweger Moore pair as the third pair defensive pair. So to go Trouba Lacombe, Carlson Minty, and then Zellweger and Moore. Or even switch or put Zellweger with Carlson and Minchkov with Moore. Like I would maybe make that switch too. All right. And let's do a quick ad read. I'll start and then you can read the next paragraph.
Okay.
And I just realized I forgot to get the video file, but that should take too long. Give me 1 second.
Time's up.
Oh no. I really hope that's the video. Let's see. Is it the video? It is. All right, cool. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, on the official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a new customer offer. Bet player props, bet live from the opening faceoff to the final horn. Every moment matters. New DraftKings customers bet just $5 and you'll get $100 in bonus. Bet instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN so you're ready for that moment. That's code THPN. Turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
All right. All right, now we're going to do a quick predictions for the upcoming games for the Ducks. So tomorrow on Mother's Day, game number 4, Ducks host the Knights. I'm going to say a 3-1 win for the Anaheim Ducks. Del Stahl comes back, dominates, and we're going to get a 3-1 win. And then Tuesday we go.
I'll go 5-4 on that game, Ducks.
5-4. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then Tuesday, back in Vegas for game 5. I'm going to say a 4-3 win. I can even see an overtime game for this one. So far I have the Ducks now tying the series and then taking a series lead.
I'll have the Knights win that game 4-3.
I hate you.
Hey, got to go against you.
No.
Doesn't mean the final isn't going to be different.
No, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'll be at game 6 along with my wife, my buddy and his wife, and mom and my brother Tim. So Thursday, Ducks host the Knights again, and I'm going to say a 4-2 win, and the Ducks win the playoff series in 6 at home.
I have them winning 6-4, going to games 6-4.
Wow,
you're
picking
back to
high-scoring
Vegas
games.
I
You're-
think they're going to find their offense, and by doing so, they typically they don't score a lot of goals and then just shut out the other team.
No, they don't shut out teams.
They sacrifice defense for their offense, and I think that's how they win. So if they really want to win, I think they got to get that offensive going.
Yeah.
I don't think they win defensively this year.
Yeah.
They're not ready for that just yet. They'll
No.
go to game 7. I'm going to make that prediction. They're going to take Vegas 5-2 in game 7.
Well, we'll see if it gets that far. They'll be on the next.
Hey,
next
I just threw
episode.
it out there for
Yeah.
now. I could be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
I've been
right.
wrong before.
True. So now we're gonna go do a quick playoff recap. I got it right here. So we already knew, Colorado swept the Kings in 4 games in the first round, but we didn't talk. I totally forgot to talk about the playoff recap last week. It's my fault. But the Minnesota Wild finally broke their curse and losing in the first round, and they defeated the Dallas Stars in 6 games. So that's it for that one. And then we already knew Vegas obviously beat Utah 4-2 because they're playing the Ducks right now. We already knew the Ducks won because we already talked about that. So we're going to move on to the East. Buffalo defeated Boston 4-2 in that one, and now they're playing against Montreal, which I predicted that one. Montreal defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3 in that thrilling 9-shot goal or 9 shots on goal game for Montreal, and they won 2-1. 9 shots on goal. That's all they had.
Yeah, that's not much.
Mm-hmm. And we already knew Carolina swept Ottawa, and then that was an obvious one. And then Philadelphia beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-2 on that one. So now we're going to continue on with the East. Now it's Carolina versus Philadelphia, and Carolina is just steamrolling teams right now. They're up 3-0 on Philadelphia. I don't know if they're playing tonight.
Wow.
Let's see.
I can't see anybody in the East beating Carolina right now.
So the round 2 of Game 4 for Hurricanes and Flyers is tonight at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then the other game tonight will be Game 3 of Colorado and Wild.
And Colorado's up 2-0, right?
Yes. Oh, well, I was going to get there. Buffalo and Montreal are each tied 1-1 in their series. So they played the first 2 in Buffalo. Now they move on to Montreal. And then, as my dad already said, Colorado's up 2-0 on Minnesota. But the game now, the series shifts to Minnesota. So they'll play the game in Minnesota tonight. And then, as we already talked about, Vegas is up 2-1 against the Ducks. And then Cutter Godier fan says, I don't think Philly would be advancing. Yeah, I think that's a safe one to say as well.
Somehow I feel it's Carolina's year this year. They've looked really good. And they've played really well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to beat Philadelphia. That's for sure. I mean, they got 4 games to win 1.
Yeah.
Or no, 4 games to win 1.
Yeah.
And I think Buffalo and Montreal are going to beat each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Carolina is going to come in, rested and ready. I can't see either one of them beating Carolina myself. I know you picked Montreal already.
Yeah.
I forgot to do that, but I'll just go.
Shame.
Yeah, I know. I can't take any credit for anything though either. So, but I think Carolina is going to be in the final, probably against Colorado, and that's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best series we could have in the final.
There was one, but I don't want to say it right now.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it right now. So I'm going to just stay. I'm going to stay quiet. We do have a couple of questions that people put on the Instagram thing I put up yesterday. Chris 146767 says, "What's the strategy going into Game 4? Goalie stopping pucks for the Ducks." There you go. That helps. And shoot. And it's funny because that next one goes to the next question. Yondir one says, "We frequently see the Ducks pass the puck when they have a chance to shoot. Why? Are they scared? Probably. I don't understand. They have so many chances to shoot. And it's funny, I didn't even talk about in Game 1 the amazing play Leo Carlson did, and right to Lacombe, and Lacombe had a wide open net and didn't shoot. I didn't even talk about that.
So, piece of advice:
Shoot the puck.
Mama Quack. She's in the bedroom watching the game. I'm usually in the family room watching the game, and this is what I hear: shoot the puck, shoot the puck, shoot the puck.
Yeah,
constantly. Shoot the puck. Come on, guys. Shoot the puck. So Mama Quack says, shoot the puck, boys. Listen to her. You might score more goals.
So I'm trying to find something real quick. So was this Game 2? I think this was the Game 2 lineup. Or Game 3 lineup. Yes, it's shoot the puck. C. Marlott says on the Instagram Live, "Should there be any changes to the lineup?" Yes. So this is what I'm doing right now. And I might change my mind in 5 minutes, but we'll see. I'm going McTavish, Carlson, Terry, Killorn, Granlund, Seneca. I'm doing a Paling, Kreider, Johnston. And then the last lineup, I would do Harkins, Washi, and VL. And defense, Lacombe, Trouba. We'll just keep this pair for now. Minty and Carlson. And then get rid of the third pair, and we're going to do Zellweger and Moore. And Dostal starts in net. That's what I'm doing. I want to know what you guys think about that. I'll probably do it on my other podcast right after I'm done with this one. And say the same thing, because something needs to change, obviously. Because that was just an embarrassing game yesterday. So I agree with Mom. We need Mac back. No Vetrano. I mean, you know what? We'll put Vetrano in for VL. We'll do that.
You have to keep in the lineup as Washi.
I had him as my fourth line center. I like him.
I'm just saying he's a keeper on the fourth line. He's played really well.
Cutter Go defense. At what point do you think Ducks need to add Gudis back in? I don't think they need to. I mean, if anything, we could do a Zellweger Gudis third pair. But like I said, I'll do McTavish, Carlson, Terry, Killorn, Granlund, Seneca, Kreider.
You're gonna put
Paling.
McTavish on the first line?
Yep, get him going as a winger.
Okay.
And then I said third line, I would do Paling, Johnston. Paling, Johnston. Oh, I'm forgetting. No, hold on. Sorry. Wash all that. McTavish.
Washi all that?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to do McTavish, Carlson, Terry, Killorn, Granlund, Seneca, Johnston. Johnston. No, I'm trying to figure out how I do this. Paling, Johnston, and Gauthier. I totally forgot about Gauthier. And then last line, I would do Harkins, Vetrano, and Washi.
So you're going to take your number one goal scorer for the season and put him on the third line.
He's been on the third line most of the season.
Has he really?
Yeah.
How many goals would he score playing with Carlson?
100.
Just saying it
honestly,
out loud.
I mean, what hurts is that he's a right winger like Terry, and they don't want to split up Terry and Carlson right now.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Cutter on the top line and having McTavish with. I think we need to have like McTavish and Seneca together. But I like Killorn, Granlund, and Seneca. I like that line. Keep that line together.
Because hasn't Seneca been on the third line here lately?
Last night he started with Viel, Washi, and Seneca, and then it was Paling, Johnston, and Harkins on the fourth line.
Yeah, he was third line though.
Yeah,
Where was
But
I go? They had Gauthier.
they had Cutter with Granlund and Killorn on the second line. Cutter's been kind of quiet this series.
You got to get him going.
Yeah, so maybe I'll put him on the top pair or the top line with.
Just thinking out loud.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not a bad idea.
okay.
So,
I have some good ideas once in a while.
Yeah, very few in between. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Anytime. All right, and then go back to notes. We did the playoff recap, questions, and we got one last thing to do. One last thing.
Oh, the Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune for this rally towel from game number 3 in the first round against Edmonton. All right, so 20, I believe it was like 21 of you put in for the it was 21 that did everything. They liked, they subscribed, they sent the screenshot and everything. And I got it here. C Marlette says, not bad for a Kings fan. He's talking about you. All right. For some reason, not letting me add it to the stream, but let's see. I'm gonna try and do it right now. And I'm spinning it, and we're gonna see who the winner is. It is Ducks fan _ Drew93 is our winner. So I will, if you haven't reached out already after I post this, I will message you and let you know that you won, and I will try to get the details so I can send it to you. Or if you're going to be at game 6, I will hand it to you at game 6 if you're going to be there.
Nice.
So congratulations. I'm going to take a picture of that before I forget, because knowing me, I will forget. Boom. Done. So congratulations to Ducks fan Drew _Drew93.
Awesome.
So there's our winner. I like all the rally towels they're coming out with. They look really cool. Do you see the one from last night?
I missed a lot of the game.
Let's see. Do I have it here? No, it's on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull it up on Instagram real quick. Sorry, because I know one guy posted it.
Do we need a drum roll?
No, I think we should be good. So I'm gonna just. Oh, that sounds very weird.
It's a drum roll for you.
Instagram. Here it is. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. So you have, right here you have game 3. I don't know if you can see. You can't see my thing. Game 3 at the bottom left. And then game 4, game 6. And then here was the new one, Fear of the Flock. Oh, there it is. There's my cursor. So yeah, like I said, I got
Cruiser.
cursor. So I have that one. I got this one now. And then I was at this game to be able to get this one. And my buddy and his wife were at the game last night, so I'm gonna steal one of theirs.
Ooh,
Yes. I guess I can
nice.
close that. So, and then I'll be at game 6, so I'll be getting that one. I'm like Thanos. I'm collecting all the rally towels to see. Instead of collecting all the
Are you going to do this?
I am inevitable. I am Iron Man. But all right, well, I believe that's it for this episode. Unless you have anything else to add.
Nope. We're getting out on time so I can get packed up and take Grandma and Papa to our house before we go to cousin Tammy's wedding tonight. So
Where's the wedding at?
Galway Downs.
Oh, so you're gonna be near us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna crash the wedding.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, we got plans tonight, so I'll tell you after them.
Okay.
But-
Sounds good.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, I should probably do the outro. Make sure you guys go follow Royally Quacked on all things social media, and we're on all the podcast platforms. Please rate or review whatever podcast platform you use, or comment on it. I know Spotify has a rating system, and you can comment on the videos. On Apple Podcasts, just leave a review and a rating. It'd be great. I would read it on the podcast. On YouTube, put whatever you want in the comments. Tell me what lineup you want for game 4 or whatever game is next. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who should the Kings hire as their new head coach? Who should they pick up in the offseason? Elias Pettersson, Stamkos, Matthews, McDavid.
All of the above.
All the above. Just go out and spend everyone. And then please
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. As Adam always says, like spike. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, but let's get the like spike going. And guys, thank you for everyone that did the giveaway. It really helped us out getting those extra 20 subscribers. And also, if you want daily Ducks content, head over to Ducks Digest, where you'll hear me 5 days a week. You probably don't want to hear my voice 5 days a week. I don't blame you. But please, it would help out tremendously there as well. I'm having fun doing it. I guess I just really officially started it this last week. I've already done 6 videos. And as soon as we're done here, I'll be doing video number 7. So on that, you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just Kings, get great players so we can compete again next year. Go Kings, go.
Go. And let's go Ducks. We'll see you next week.